Ephara, god of the Polis, versus another god, Karametra, god of harvests. Yeah, I'm going to risk keeping that because we have a couple of creatures that can enter the battlefield. We can give them an Aven Mind Sensor on turn 3. We have a Path to Exile if they start getting too fast for us. There's not really any point that I can see in pathing a Findhorn Elves because it'll just replace mana with more mana. So our opponent seems to be playing pretty quick here, so we won't keep them waiting. They've got down to 4 cards already and now down to 3. We will get out our Prairie Stream here. That is Prairie Stream. Got a little tongue tied there. And what we want to do in this deck is get down as many creatures as we can once Ephara is out. We want to get down Ephara as soon as possible, but if we don't get into any ramp in the early game, which it doesn't look like we're going to, then yeah, unfortunately we're just going to have to let down a Karametra, which I imagine is going to come down now. Oh no, they're going for a tap land, so yeah, just going to hit us for 2. And they're still at 3 cards now. We at least have a full grip of cards. And we can hold up Path here and the Aven Mind Sensor. And if they decide to search their library, then that player instead searches the top 4 cards of their library. Okay, Devoted Druid is more ramp. I'm surprised they've done that before Karametra, unless they wanted to hold up 3 mana for something else at instant speed, but okay, now 2 mana. They've plumped or hitting us for 2 instead. Not going to block with the Aven Mind Sensor because it is a 2-1, and that would of course, well, they would trade with whatever we blocked with. And there we go, Aven Mind Sensor. So they've already searched their library enough for ramp, so I don't see that being too much of an issue for our opponent, but you never know. We'll go for our god, and this will no doubt be followed by our opponent's god, and we'll go over what both of them do. This is an indestructible 6/5. Yeah, we'll hit our opponent. We're just going to be trading damage for the next few turns, I imagine. Yeah, an indestructible 6/5 for 4 mana. We need Devotion to Azorius of 7 or greater. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you had another creature enter the battlefield this turn under your under your control during the last turn. So you're always playing a turn in advance with Ephara. Then you draw a card. So this is why we have flash creatures and things like that in the deck. And then Karametra, as we're about to see, I imagine. Yeah, so our opponent has cast a creature here with Karametra in play. That means that they can search their library for a forest or a plains and put it into play tapped. It looks like they went for a basic plains there. After playing the Knight of the Reliquary, this thing can sacrifice a forest or a plains and then search your library for a land and put it into play. So hopefully they can't get anything too busted with that. Now then, let's see. Oh, and actually, Aven Mind Sensor will keep them off the knight anyway. So I think this thing needs 5 or more lands. Yeah, so that will be switched on. We can go for... yeah, we'll get down the Mist Meadow Witch. What is this? When it enters the battlefield, search... oh no, when it enters the battlefield you may return another creature. Yeah, I'm not particularly too worried about losing the Aven Mind Sensor. And we have Venser and the Jeskai Barricade held up anyway if we want it. And we also have the Mist Meadow Witch held up as well. I assume our opponent's going to be swinging in with the Karametra, so we might just use that. We do of course draw a card thanks to the Mist Meadow Witch entering last turn. And we're now into Muldrifter. Our opponent swings in with some creatures here. So what we're going to do... Yeah, I think I might want to path the Karametra soon, but we're going to block there, and then we're going to use a little trick that we can do with the Mist Meadow Witch. We'll use the Aven Mind Sensor and exile it in response to blocks. Now, they can't use their Knight of the Reliquary because it's tapped, but if it was untapped, they'd be able to respond to the Aven Mind Sensor, leaving the battlefield. And then this, of course, will re-enter, and it will trigger Ephara for next turn. I think we're looking at an austere command now, especially if our opponent gets another creature down. Yeah, it's fine with me. They're down to one card. They have ramped sufficiently, but we're down to 20 life, and it's only going to get worse. So I think we want an austere command here, which will be all creatures. Yeah, we'd lose our Aven Mind Sensor and the Mist Meadow Witch. And we'll get down the Wasteland first. And then that is a Signet with the Temple. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yes, we can do that. So we will Azorius Signet first. And then we will swing in at our opponent with the Aven Mind Sensor, just to get a free 2 points of damage. And then let me just make sure I know what this thing does. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we'll see our opponent isn't on Teferi's Protection mana, which means that we can get into Austere Command, destroy all creatures. Very good modal card for a board wipe. Now we do get to keep all of our gods, or both of our gods. Ephara wasn't animated anyway, so it wouldn't have died there, but all the gods in this cycle are indestructible. And Temur Sabertooth is another creature. That's a 4/3. And for 2 mana you can bounce a creature and it gains indestructible, so that would have been good for them to have last turn. Glad they didn't have that. Field of Ruin might go after Wasteland. No, it doesn't. It goes after the Temple. So we only go down 1 mana with that, thanks to the way Field of Ruin works. And we get into another land anyway. I think I quite like Muldrifter here. So let's tap down our Signet. And we'll go for a hard cast on Muldrifter. That will be a creature entering for next turn, but it also cantrips. And then, yeah, I think we'll progress our mana a little bit here. We'll go for Thought Vessel. So that's Tundra. And then we can... Yeah, we'll hold up Thought Vessel, and we can get into Jeskai Barricade if we want. Or we can path to exile if we're worried about the Temur Sabertooth. And we do, of course, draw a card. Thanks to the Muldrifter entering last turn into Duplicant is really nice. Now this thing, it's another target creature. They are animating the Stirring Wildwood. And this thing is a 3/4 reacher, so it looks like they're trying to rush us now. I think I want to just path this thing, especially if it can gain indestructible. And that will replace itself with a land, but I think in a Karametra deck like this, our opponent ramping is the least of our concerns. Okay, and that's enough to make them scoop. Yeah, don't think that they should have scooped there. At least draw another couple of cards across your next turn. But I suppose if they were going to scoop to that, then they might have scooped to us, wastelanding their manland here. That's most likely what we were going to do. If they're showing us that they're going to start animating it and swinging in at us, then we'll probably just blow it up with wasteland. So the game might have been under our control, but I'm not sure they should have scooped there. But anyway, so there we go. We managed to get a win off with Ephara. Our opponent decided to go in for the dump all your creatures from your hand onto the battlefield plan and ramp out like crazy. And unfortunately, if you see a board wipe from your opponent, then there's not a whole lot you're going to do about it other than something like heroic intervention or a Teferi's protection, something like that. Unfortunately, our opponent didn't have those, so it's a win for us today. That's Ephara, God of the Polis, versus Karametra, God of Harvests, and I hope I will see all of you in the next one. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.